seen two of them kiss, and they wanted to act like, and the moment I was like, you just kissed, and they were like, we didn't kiss. Yes, you did, and you liked it. You are gay. Alright, guys. Essentially, we got no notes, I got the full beat on, I got the curlers in, and I'm ready to bitch. Hi, I'm Brinly, I'm your host. We're at Brinly's Yapathon, and this week, I'm on one. Usually, you know me, I've either hit the pen, or I've had an energy drink and some coffee before I get on this podcast. This is just my energy. I didn't need it this week. This week, I've fucking had it. I've had it up to here! Let's start off with the good things. Actually, in my own personal life, I've had a very good week. The reason I got the beat on, the reason I got the curlers in, the reason I'm in a weird little funky outfit is because I was getting ready because I'm going to a party later, and I'm very excited to go see my friends at a party because it's been horribly cold in the city, it's been a frozen popsicle, and it's heated up a little, and I'm starting to feel like a person again. Thank the Lord. You know something I've been saying? Y'all gotta jump in on this, okay? My new favorite thing is, to ironically say God is good. Like, because you guys know I'm not Christian like that. And you knew I grew up around evangelicals, and I don't play with their dumbasses. And Reese and I have been saying God is good. Like, I was playing Fortnite the other day. Of course, you know me, I'm playing Fortnite. I was dropping. And I got that victory royale at the end of it. I was like, God is good. Just stuff like that. So when I'm starting to say God is good, that's a context. Surely I'm going to say it. Surely I'm going to say it throughout the podcast. Trust. The vocal stims have been crazy. Trust is another one. I hope I give you guys vocal stims. I hope you guys listen, and I hope you pick up some new vocal stims. Okay? So, have this party later. I'm very excited for that. I'm grateful that the weather warmed up. Also, I had a very lovely Valentine's Day. I've had a very lovely Valentine's Day. It was so fun. Me and my boyfriend, we went out to a market, and like an Italian market, we picked up some stuff, and I made dinner, and it was lovely and very fun. And I just love my boyfriend so much, which is crazy, because the topic I'm about to go, well, it's not crazy that I love my boyfriend, because he's perfect, and it's not weird that I love my boyfriend, because my boyfriend is a perfect little angel man, and I love him so much. And we had the best time, and it's just so crazy that, like, it's what they say is true about, like, if you're a man, PSA for men, we're going to be doing a lot of that this episode, because I'm sure this episode's name is going to be like, Trust I Hate Men. Trust I Still Hate Men. Trust I still hate y'all. Like, it's still there. But they talk about a lot. Women talk about a lot, and I've even seen men start to pick up on this, like, who have girlfriends, who can get some. Yeah, right? And talking about how the best girlfriend to have is someone who hates a man, because you never gotta worry if your girl's looking at another man. No, she hates them. She hates them. I saw the funniest meme the other day. Let me find this. This shit had me cackling, guys. It had me hee-hee-heeing and ha-ha-haing and hoo-hoo-hooing. Let me find it. I'm gonna find it. Trust, where is it? I saved so much stuff. It's unreal. Oh. This is what it was. I saw this post that said, what do you look for in a man? What do you look for in a man? I look away, the fuck? Who's out here manifesting a man? Yuck. Exactly. Like, I already manifested my perfect man. So now I manifest men to stay away from me. So having a man-hating girlfriend is the number one thing to look for if you're looking for a girl, boys, okay? Or girlies, okay? Like, it's just putrid. It's putrid out here. It's disgusting. It's diabolical. Quite frankly, it's diabolical. It's getting despicable out here, quite frankly, in America. I did no research for this episode because I've been filming on Mondays recently because it's usually pretty loud in my apartment. I used to film on Sundays, and I'm filming on a Sunday today. I used to film on Sundays, but it's just very loud in my apartment. You know, like, people are having their weekend and my neighbor's playing music, so I usually just wait till Monday when everyone's at work to film it. But that didn't happen this week, so I'm just all thrown off. And yeah, I didn't look up any good news, but like, the good news is just in general, because I do just listen to the news a lot. What I'm hearing is that even if they're not showing it, like, a lot of like Republican, like, House and Senate people are really looking like they're ready to jump ship. Like, that's what the whispers have been. So let's just hope that's true from the little whispers I've been hearing from just me consuming a lot. I just consume a lot of political information, and a lot of very informed people this has popped up, they said it multiple times. So, not something crashing out there. Y'all hear that? One of my roommates out there dying. Like, ooh. Anyways, hope they're doing well. Love y'all. I'm not gonna check on them. That sounds like their issue. They sound good. It was just something loud crashing. It's probably fine. Anyways, but yeah, just from everything I've been listening, do I have any sources? No. I don't got any sources. Trust. How about that, trust? This episode, we're gonna be trusting Brinly. We're gonna be doing a lot of that. Like, I have certain girly pops in my life. Like, this episode is for y'all. Okay? Okay? Because I want to talk about how men, who they are, that's who they are. If they suck, they're gonna stay sucking. Dick, for real. Because let's talk about, again, my notes, I don't even know why I have them open. My notes just say, in all caps, if you can see that, they just say, men suck. That's the notes for this week. I'm gonna close it, since we already know this. And trust, we already know this. Trust, we already know. I want to talk about, let's start off with the fact that hyper-masculine men, y'all are the gayest people on earth. I've never seen anything gayer than a hyper-masculine man who doesn't do that gay shit. You guys are little fairies. Y'all are fairies. You're floating in the woods. Okay. Like, heated rivalries is less gay than y'all. Honestly. And they're all in these, okay, if they actually like women, no, they don't, number one. They always hate women. Hypermasculine men always hate women because they hate femininity so much. They don't want anything femininity. You know, the Nick Fuenteses of the world, who are like, a virgin, number one, you're a virgin, you've never touched a woman, want to act like you're hyper-masculine, and really you're a little sissy baby, okay? Sissy baby Nick Fuentes, I'm specifically coming for you. Let's beef, Nick Fuentes. I would love to go head-to-head with Nick Fuentes. I'd bash that little fairy's brain in. Like, can I say that? Is that, like, inciting violence? I don't know. He personally thinks I shouldn't have a right to my body. He personally thinks my body's his choice. I think he's gonna like my fist in his face. How about that? So, like, a sissy little baby like Nick Fuentes, who's never touched a woman in his whole damn life, that all these little boys are sucking off, right? Right. This little sissy baby who's preaching to a choir full of incels, the incel choir that he's singing in, okay, never touched a woman because he believes touching a woman is gay because of women being feminine. Oh my god. You like men. These are the same type of men who's like, being gay is a choice. Oh, if you think being gay, I know for a fact being gay isn't a choice. Sometimes I just like a pretty girl. Sometimes in my youth, I just enjoyed looking at pretty women, okay? Maybe sometimes me and my boyfriend, since we're both bi, we're like, And that's the beautiful thing about bisexuality, but definitely didn't choose being gay. Definitely did not choose the queerness. The queerness, I tried to push it down real hard and it sprang back up. Okay? Because that's that. If a man says to you, or a woman, if anyone says to you being gay is a choice and they know for certain, they're like, I know for certain being gay is a choice. They're gay. They're gay because they made that choice not to be gay. That choice not to be gay. They made the choice to be miserable. Trust. I have had recently... So... No. I'm not gonna go there yet. I have a place to go, and I know where I'm going. Trust. Okay? Today we're gonna say it a million times. We're gonna keep trusting. Here's the thing about these hyper-masculine men. They're the gayest men on earth. All of them, all they want to do is spend time with their boys. Spend time with their bros. These are the men, and I know for a fact, because I used to live in this world, the scariest days of my life when I was only friends with men. The scariest days of my life. Guys, if you don't know, when I was younger, I was, I guess, a pick-me, like, pretty much. I fucking sucked because I had just been through all this trauma, and I was trying to redesign my personality, and I was doing this whole not like other girls thing. And that was really the most miserable I've ever been in my whole life, and it was because I hated myself. If you're a pick-me, and you're like, I'm not like other girls, you hate yourself. I'm so sorry, Queen Diva. Go girly pop out. Clearly, let's look at the lineup. Sanji-kun! My beloved Sanji. That's why now I think Sanji's the perfect man, okay? And he is. Don't get me started on live action Sanji. I'm also coming for your dumb British ass. And I'm not going to do it on this podcast. Check out Reese's podcast here soon because we're going to do an episode over my real boyfriend, Sanji. Vinsmoke Sanji, my real boyfriend, Vinsmoke Sanji. We're going to talk about him on my boyfriend's podcast. About my real boyfriend, Vinsmoke Sanji. Anyways. Back to what I was saying. If you're a pick-me, if you are, I'm not like other girls. My favorite thing on earth is being just like other girls, because women are wonderful. I'm just like every other girl. Even women that, like, I hate, women that I think are mean, cruel bitches, I still want what's best for you, okay? Know that I'm fighting for your right to fucking suck, okay? Every day I fight for your right to suck and make terrible choices, okay? Because deep down in my heart, I love y'all. And I believe in you having rights. Girly pops, and y'all can be talking shit, and y'all can be stalking my shit, because all you up in there, recently I've seen it, trust that TikTok lets me know, when you're looking at my shit, okay, and y'all wanted to pretend like you hated me back in the day, you want to pretend like you hate me now, you want to be judgmental, okay, you busted ass bitches are still looking though, that's crazy, big dog, let's reel it in, big dog, I thought you got that ring on your finger now. Aren't you happy you gotta be stalking me? Crazy! That's the thing, girly pops. When you live a life of authenticity, the people that claim that they hate you are the most envious of you, okay? They hate your freedom, they hate your swag, they hate your drip, they hate your passion for life, that you truly are in love with life, and they're jealous in their puritarian prison that they built for themselves. Okay? And continue to be iconic and let them hate. Can you tell that when I took my shower today, I was listening to Megan Thee Stallion? Because I was! Trust that I've been listening to Megan. When am I gonna get Megan Part 3? Hopefully this year. Where's my water? Guys, I told you, I'm worked up. I'm upset. I'm angry. Talking about the fairy boys. Right. Back in the worst days of my life. The worst days of my life. That I try to make a conscious effort not to think about. Because if I think about it, I want to put in like the Among Us sound right there. That's what, yeah. That it's set in, I choose not to think about it because it's cringe. And I don't like that version of myself at all. And it's actually like, okay. The real thing is I actually have not to get real like that. I just have a lot of love for that version of myself because she was really struggling. And obviously, in her heart, she knew she was in the wrong place and she was doing all of that as like a form of self-harm. So the version of you hate yourself the most, hate is the wrong word. I'm throwing it out there for, I think, the dramatic effect of it all, but I think it is also important to say and acknowledge that the version of yourself that you liked the least, you need to have the most empathy and compassion for, and actually you have to love her the most because she needs love the most. No, I won't cry. I can't cry because I put the full beat on, but I really felt that, guys, think about that. The version of yourself that you hate the most is the version of yourself that needs the most love and empathy and the most healing. And that's what my book's about. And if you guys even care about my book, that's what my book's sort of about, guys. Anyways. I literally can't cry because I got the full beat on. Like, the full beat. But I'm feeling emotional, like, because I'm pissed off. Oh my god. Anyway, so the worst days of my life consisted of me having 4 male best friends. Walkie size! Stinky poopy! I would never recommend that. I would wish that upon my worst enemy, because I hate her. You know who you are. Okay? But anyone else, other than that one evil, sick woman churning butter in her witch's hut, other than that hag, I would wish that upon her, and I wish her worse, quite frankly, okay? Yeah. But anyone else, I wouldn't wish that on my second worst enemy. Certainly I wouldn't wish it upon my second worst enemy. New thing I'm gonna start saying. Because I would wish it upon my worst enemy, guys. I'm gonna be honest, I wish that for her and more. Okay, that's just how I am. Because me and Girly Pop, we're like, we're like Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. And of course I'm Bugs Bunny. And I'm never gonna stop throwing a pipe bomb in the rabbit hole when you jump down there to try to kill me. Girly Pop, okay? And trust on Bugs Bunny, and I'm gonna keep slamming your ass, okay? Oh, that was a weird sentence. Let's move on. We're gonna move on! Because I haven't even made my point. My gosh. So, at one point in my life, unfortunately, I was friends with 4 men, and I was in a male-centric friend group. Ugh! Like, I can't move past that point. Like, I can't even tell my story, because every time I'm just like, that's horrible! Terrible. Wouldn't wish it upon my second worst enemy. Let's actually move on. So, thing is, I know from being in those spaces, they do a lot of gay shit. These little fairy boys, men do this all the time, where they do this fake gay shit, where they, like, fake hit on each other, they fake touch on each other, grabbing each other's thighs, going in for a kiss. I've seen 2 of them kiss, and they wanted to act like, and the moment I was like, you just kissed, and they were like, we didn't kiss. Yes, you did, and you liked it. You are gay. You all love each other. You all certainly are still friends and not friends with me, and the one guy that you all said, ugh, he's gay all the time, and you'd always make fun of him for being gay, that's the one you actually don't keep around. But all your homies that you pretend to be kissing on, it looks like you're still friends with. Right, because you're in love with each other. Men are in social homoerotic relationships with each other. They are. Who's calling me? And that's another thing, too. I am the sister of 2... I'm a big sister of two brothers. Okay, I got 2 younger brothers. Teenage brothers. And I love those boys with my whole life. And it's just crazy to me, like, looking at, like, how they behave at the age when I was friends with those men. Like, not men, boys! Boys, little boys, still little baby candy, baby fairy boys, okay? You are gay. And there's nothing wrong with being gay. Love yourself. Love yourself. If you would accept that you're gay, if you would just kiss your homie, maybe you wouldn't be so evil and diabolical. And for years, I did not talk about this situation because, number one, it was humiliating. Most humiliating thing in my life, ever being associated with men. The most humiliating thing in my whole life, okay? And the shame of that, I was like, I'm not going to talk about it because it's so shameful that, like, I don't want anyone to know I'm upset about it because that's embarrassing. No. Girly Pop, please, if you have been victimized by men, be vocal about it and talk about it with your girlies because it's happened to them too, and that's how you move on, is don't shove that shit down because that makes you feel worse. But I was embarrassed, and I didn't want these men to think that they had power over me because I was experiencing grief and shame around having associated with them. Like, I was like, I have to make them think that I don't think about this at all. And the real truth of the matter is, once I deconstructed it, I understand societally what enables just the average man to behave this way. Once I deconstructed all of that, like, my life got easier and the world was easier to navigate because I could see the world for what it was. So if anything, I have a lot of gratitude for those losers because at least I got out unscathed more than most. Like, trust me, I was shot 26 times in the head. Trust, I was shot 26 times in the head. But still, compared to most women, I came out pretty unscathed, which is pretty fucking scary. Is that my biggest fear in life? Yes. That I went through, like, the least bad version of sexual abuse in a male-centric friend group. And, still, like, maybe not the least bad. It was pretty vile. I went through some pretty horrible sexual abuse. And it's like, but compared to, like, some of my female friends, it is, like, nothing compared to what they've gone through. And it truly just scares me that men just walk around in this world and just get away with this stuff and there's no consequence. It, like, literally, like, some women I know who are affected by, like, sexual harassment and sexual abuse, and just the way it literally, like, knocks them out of life and, like, being able to participate in their own life the way that they want to, and the fact that just, like, there's not that there's no accountability. I mean, there is no accountability in a systematic way, which is why I always try to talk about and promote, like, systematic, like, women systemizing a social system within themselves and come up with, like, a social contract that us women need to adhere to, of, like, we're not going to let men treat us like this, or, like, we need the 4B movement in America. Like, if there was ever a time, tits out, tits up, don't put out. That's what, I've said this philosophy before. Look as hot as possible, and then don't give men any. Okay? There's no way that man that you're taking home from the bar is going to make you come. He's not. He's not going to, so don't do it. Don't waste your time. You can buy multiple, bzzz, that's gonna do way more for you than Rick that you're taking home from the bar. Don't disgust me. Don't make me ashamed of you girls. And I have certain friends, and I've said it to your faces. Get rid of that man. I've said it to your face, and now I'm saying it on my podcast. Get rid of that man, okay? And if you're watching this podcast and you're a girly pop and you're my friend, and you have a man who doesn't treat you like you are the best thing that ever happened to him, because I guarantee you're doing for the emotional labor that I know that you do for that man. If a man does not appreciate the emotional labor that you do for him, get rid of him. I am not playing around. I want him out. We are calling the exterminator. He's coming over to your house, okay? And we're spraying the roaches. I am not playing girly pops. Get rid of him. Okay? In 2026, when we're dealing with a pedophilic Epstein class, and right now, men, like low-tier level terrible men, think that it's okay. They're considered low tier. They're only considered low tier horrible because we have an Epstein class of people who every day were being bombarded with horrible sex crimes that are coming out. And that makes you think when this man, not your man, because he's not your man, he's leading you on. You are doing free therapy labor for him. You are a free therapist for him, okay? You have to get rid of him. I want him gone. I've had it. And the only reason that he seems normal to you and you don't think that it's fucking ridiculous that he treats you this way is because every day we're bombarded in the news about a class of rapists who rule this country. That is the only reason you think it is okay to interact with a loser, okay? And if we lived in a different time, if we lived 50 years from now, after we've handled all this political crisis shit, your man is, I'm coming for him, and I'm encouraging you to come for him. I have had it. I told you, I'm pissed off today. This whole topic is truly what I'm passionate about speaking about. Like, no, there are some man hater on the internet, okay? That I look up to and love. And I think of them as my peers, okay? And I need to start embodying that. This is really what I want a platform for. To talk about, to talk about female rage. Because, girl, don't I know female rage. Don't I know it. Maybe that's what my book's about. Maybe that's what my book's about. Female rage. Because I fucking had it, okay? I was saying something earlier about what's crazy to me is that my brothers are teenagers, and they are such good kids. Like, they're both, like, real into video games, which is why I started playing Fortnite, which is actually so nice. I got to play Fortnite. Like, finally, like, I kind of got good enough where they let me play with them, and, well, they had let me play with them, but they were like, damn, you suck, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna work on it, and I worked on it, and I played, and we got that victory royale. Trust, we got that victory royale, and it was great, and we had a good time. That was really cool. But my little brothers, like, if I hear them on mic, like, when I'm not playing with them, like, when I used to live with them, too, or when I come home to visit, like, if they're on mic, if they're any of their peers or anyone else in a game is saying some atrocious thing, they're always hopping on their ass and always calling them out. And like, they grew up hearing me talk like this. They grew up hearing my sister and my mom like talk about this stuff. So they're very informed and they're emotionally intelligent, and they call out these things, and they talk about classmates that they don't like who have conservative views, and they talk about, how they defend their female classmates. Any classmate who needs defended, like, my brothers are there. And that's what a real man is. Like, my little brothers, my 17-year-old, or he's about to be 18. Oh my gosh. My 17-year-old, I got southern there. My 17-year-old and my 13-year-old brother are more men than these sissy babies I used to be friends with who are my age. And these men who are in Congress. Like, than the president. My 17-year-old brother is more of a man than our president, okay? Okay? Because at the end of the day, what is a man? A man is someone who stands up for what is right. That's a man. That's a man, okay? They stand up for women, they stand up for children, they stand up for anyone who needs help, no matter their color, their race, their sexuality, no matter what. That's what a man does. I thought y'all want to be men, you want to be protectors, but instead, all we're doing is protecting, the worst people who have ever lived, maybe, possibly ever? Damn! That sure doesn't make any sense. It sure makes you sound like a little fairy boy. And it's like, I hate to, like a little sissy baby, and I really hate to then, because I like to deconstruct and be like, well, I don't like the demonization of being gay or being a woman, as I don't like using those as insults at all, because, then we're demonizing being gay or being a woman. But at the end of the day, what hurts these men the most? If in general being a sissy is a bad thing, we take the gendered bit out of it. If I feel like, so my foot in the fight, is that a sentence? Is that a saying? Whatever. The way I see myself helping in this collective revolution that we are all a part of is I am basically a professional rage baiter to start a larger conversation. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm doing that very purposely. I'm doing that very tactically. That's why I perform hyper-femininity. It is to piss people off. I want my entire existence to piss men off, to rage bait them. That is my entire goal. I'm trying to rage bait you. I'm right in rage baiting you. Like, I'm saying correct things. I am correct, but I am doing it to piss you off because I fucking hate you, right? And I want to piss people off to start conversations, so I explode a million conversations elsewhere. And I want to try to support women. I want, everyone I want to support. Everyone. All the people I do want to support, I want this to be a supportive, safe place for them, and I want to help people learn how to verbalize these things. Because it took a long time to learn how to verbalize everything I'm saying. It was in my head. I didn't know how to verbalize it, and that was frustrating. So hopefully, at the end of the day, all I want is to help give the people who need verbiage to speak out for what they want. I want to help liberate women, and I want to trick men into being very angry at my existence. I don't care. Like, I'm not worried about my safety. Like, I'm not worried about, like, I know, like, I have a lot of people who are like, I wouldn't put that on the internet. It's very dangerous right now. I don't care. If there was ever a time to take a risk, it's probably now. It's probably now. So, that anyways, I guess that was the clarification on why I'm using, like, calling these men gay and calling them a sissy, like, as a way to call them out, but it's the only way to get them angry. It is the only way to, like, take a shot at them that actually hurts them, okay? And it's the only thing that's gonna do it. So that's where I gotta go, okay? So that's the ammunition I got, so that's the ammunition I'm gonna use, okay? And these hyper-masculine men who hate their girlfriends and wives. They hate their girlfriends and wives, and always have. Oh, God, I hope this reaches the right person, because I'm not going to be reaching out to this lady, because I don't want to be upping her or his energy at all. His or her energy at all. But here's the thing. So hopefully this gets to her. A little PSA for, but really any woman who's in this woman's position. I don't care what the sunk cost is. And how much I don't care how many years of your life you've dedicated to that man hates you. I want you to understand he hates you and you gotta leave. There are women out here, this is what scares me the most, is that there are women out there who are so, like, who just don't have to do it to themselves. If you're with that man and you worry that he secretly hates you, if you're with that man and if you are engaged to a man and you, in your heart of soul, deep down worry that he would cheat on you at any given moment, and that you have to marry him to make sure he doesn't cheat, trust he's going to still cheat on you. Trust he's still going to cheat on you. Trust. If he was diabolical in high school, and 5 years later, you now think you should engage that man who would cheat on you in high school, girly, don't do it! Don't do it! There's a girly pop out there, and I truly think of her regularly, and I pray... God is good, and I pray for her, and God will save her. Please. Truly, God's intervention needs to come through. That she'll get the reality check that the man that she's with hates her, and if she ever needed anything, the way my doors are open for this woman. There's a woman out there, guys, that I, in high school, hated her guts. Hated her guts. I thought she was confrontational, I thought she was a bitch, XYZ, whatever. But she's in a relationship with a man who I know for a fact hates her. And she just got engaged to him. I know for a fact he had said it to my face 100 million times that he hates this woman. I only heard the entire friendship, throughout the course of my friendship with this man, that he hated this woman. That he hated her. Said it a million times. Said the words, I hate her. The first day I ever met him, he was talking about how he hated her. Now they're engaged. That terrifies me to my soul. That's truly my biggest fear in life. That just like, and that could have been me. That really so easily could have been me. And I have this crazy survivor's guilt about just like, oh my God. It is really easy for women to fall into traps, true traps, and be engaged to men that they hate. Be married to a man that hates them. And it, like, this girl, I did not like her in high school, but if she had the courage to leave that man and she ever needed anything, like, I would do anything for that woman. I would do anything for her. Do I like her? Do I think she's a good person? No. I would do anything for her. And I've said this to certain friends about this person, because we went to high school, they know her too, and they're like, why are you even, like, thinking about her? Why are you even, like, why would you do that? Like, she was nothing but, like, mean to you. And I'm like, I don't care. I also have, like, clearly very chronic OCD, like, that consumes me. Very consuming OCD that I struggle with. So if something captures my imagination, I'm sorry, I can't not think about it. And, like, her plight, like, the position she's in life, just so easily could have been me. So easily, if I had not exited that pick-me phase, could have been me. And that is so terrifying to me that just because my life went a little, I had a few slightly, like, I was just, my situation where I was able to leave that situation and get the space to get clarity from that situation. Because I was able to get clarity from that situation, not be sucked into the gaslighting over and over and over again. I was able to escape, and I have a beautiful life. I'm so happy. And I would say 99% of the time, like, I'm not angry about this situation anymore because I understand it so well. I understand what happened with these people so well. I took the time to deconstruct it. I understand it from every angle. I understand politically why it happened. I understand the psychology of why it happened, the sociology of why it happened, the gendered experience of why it happened, the economic stances that I was in and why that caused it to happen, my family relations, how different relationships with different family members enabled me to think that situation was okay. I understand from every angle and facet of why that traumatic situation happened to me. And something that would annoyed me, also why I didn't want to talk about it, because it is that complex. Ladies, it's that complex, If you put up with a man who treats you horribly, it is that complex. It is that deep. I promise and guarantee you, it's that deep. I could keep searching, I could probably find more. Unfortunately. Okay? And that's why I believe in the power of deconstruction. You have to deconstruct it to that level, on the atomical level. And because I have OCD and it captured my imagination, I can't help but deconstruct. Deconstructing things is it is this OCD rabbit hole that I probably should be fucking medicated for, because it absolutely, I just get absorbed in the deconstruction of things, and it's not just this situation, it's anything and everything that captures my imagination I have to completely deconstruct. And I used to be very embarrassed by that regarding this situation. I used to, and I want to say that because what I'm telling you to do is not an easy thing to do, and it was felt like a shame ritual, quite frankly, to do it, but I'm so glad that I did, because I don't harbor shame around it anymore. And when I harbored shame, I was like, I don't want these people, I'm already feeling so horrible about this, I don't want these people to know that I'm thinking about them. But it's like, not even, and I'd be like, I don't want them to think they still have power over me. But like, you being able to think about it, deconstruct it, understand why it happened to you, move on, and live a beautiful life afterwards. That's not letting them have power. That's dismissing them. That's, you gotta look at the crime so that you can, make sure that they stay in no contact prison. And you're gonna stay in no contact prison, okay? Like, it's just like, there's what happened this week, to me personally, that got me all fired up. Not on this topic. It's a combination of this thing, but then also just politically what's happening that crashed together and made me want to have this conversation. And I just recently, it's just crazy. Men will gaslight you that they don't like you, that they don't think you're pretty, let's look at me right now. I once had a man who would tell me I wasn't pretty, I'm not even that attracted to you, not pretty, tell me I'm not smart, please, as if. Told me I wasn't pretty, wasn't smart, wasn't funny, treated me like shit, would lie to me, would gaslight me. This man was just a little fairy boy who wanted to kiss his best friend, and he would then try to tell me that, like, I was undesirable, and that I was crazy all the time. Would gaslight me all the time that I was crazy. But then would be like, are you ever gonna let me hit? Are you ever gonna let me hit? Can I hit, please? Like, in front of our other friends, would be like, can I hit, please? Embarrass himself, beg for pussy and never get it. Embarrassing head ass. Jesus. Like, embarrassing, right? So, what was I saying? I don't know. But, so this loser, I want to reiterate, too, like, it's crazy because, like, these people from my past, it's like, I don't think of them as, like, this sounds weird, but, like, I don't think of them as people necessarily. I think about them as, like, information packets about certain, like, groups of men. Like, they're a way to categorize men. Like, every evil man I've ever interacted with becomes almost like an archetype of a piece of shit. You got some watery shit, some watery diarrhea, we got some, I'm not going to keep describing diarrhea, but that's what they are, okay? Anyways, I had a man in my life who would, little boy. I would have this little boy in my life who would gaslight me constantly back when I was my least favorite version of myself. Gaslight me all the time, made me feel fucking crazy. And then all these years later, you know who I'm still getting updates about viewing my shit? You know who's still following my new TikTok accounts? Right, little fairy boy. Little fairy boy is still flittering around. Engaged. Okay, we knew you were a cheater, but so you think micro-cheating isn't a big deal. You think micro-cheating is a big deal because you're just a cheater. And it's just like, right, you sucked in high school because you shouldn't have been cheating on your girl. You shouldn't have been cheating on her. You shouldn't have been doing everyone dirty, treating all your friends horribly, talking horribly behind all your friends' back that you're still friends with. Shouldn't have been doing all that. But trust you got worse, and now you're like, ooh, my fiance who's really sensitive about this one girl from high school. Because I know for certain she'd been throwing chairs about me. I know for certain I'd heard that. That's the tea. Your fiance who's very sensitive about my existence. Oh, let's go follow Brinly as soon as she posts her midriff on TikTok. That's crazy business. Big dog. Big dog, that's crazy business. I don't even feel like I should use the word big dog, because, like, Trust your friend. Trust your little girlies that you did bring into your bed were speaking. Trust they were speaking. Trust they were warning the community. Trust they were warning the community and I listened and that's why I wasn't popping nothing. Yeah. Also, little fairy boy who wants to kiss your best friend. You had more sexual tension with him, so I was gonna let you have him. Go for it, bestie. Go. And it's just like, men will think because it's the same shit that's happening in politics right now. This is why, again, I find it interesting to analyze, because it's just a reflection of what's happening on a congressional level. Of men will do something atrocious. You will point it out and be like, hey, that's an atrocious thing to do. It's an atrocious thing to do to go look at a woman's TikTok profile. Be scrolling through her TikTok profile when, for the first time in my history of TikTok, I'm exposing my midriff. Suddenly you appear. Try to go follow that account when you are engaged to a woman who you know specifically hates my guts. Reasonably so. Reasonable. Girly, I really get why you hate me. I personally have much love in my heart for you. And if you ever needed me, I got you. I promise. Trust I got you no matter what you need ever. In the history of my whole life. In the history of my whole life. Like, you, girly, respectfully, you wake up in my worst nightmare every day. Okay? So if you ever need me, you got my number. Deadass. I know you got my number still. Call it. It's just like, right? But this is what's happening on a congressional level. Men will do something diabolical. You will call them out on it, okay? And then they'll be like, you're causing a problem by bringing up when I did the bad thing. Oh my god, am I gonna lose my mind? Oh. And it's just like, again, I get like PTSD, like survivor's guilt, because I'm just like, I'm not like, I don't think I'm that special. Like, I think I'm insane, for starters. And I think maybe that's a little special. My brand of crazy. But like, in like a karmic way. I don't think I'm like special or like karmically superior to anyone else. I mean, I think I've worked on my energy so good things happen to me. You know? But that's different. I don't think there is inherent karmic reason that I got out of living in the Midwest and not getting married to a man that I hate. And that is going to happen to so many of my peers. So many of my peers from high school, women that I don't like. I think they're bad women. I think they're evangelical Christian garbage, quite frankly. And I think it's despicable the way that they think about immigrants, gay people, trans people, black and brown people. I think their entire mindset of the world is diabolical and disgusting. Okay? But what gets me is that I know that they're either just got married to men who they never slept with before marrying them, which is insane, and are gonna have sex with them twice, get pregnant, and then go experience horrible postpartum, realize they don't even know the man that they married because they only married him so that they could have sex, so that they would, be good in the eyes of God. Right? And then you stalk in my page, and I clocked you. How does it feel to be clocked? Get a divorce. Go climb some mountain ranges. I know you have access to some mountain ranges and that there's some people in your life who know about them. Go climb some mountain ranges, rethink, okay? And deconstruct why you hate people so much, okay? But it's just like, even then, like, I feel frightened, terrified to my soul that, like, that women like that were conditioned to end up in those situations. And that they'll even hear me say this. They'll hear me say these words. And they'll be like, oh, Brinly's so hateful. I have love in my heart for you. I want you to do better. I wanted better for you. Okay? If me wanting women to never have to be put in the position of your existence makes me a bad person, I'm fucking Dr. Evil. I don't know. Because I would never want that for you. I'd never want a woman to be born into an evangelical church ever again. Okay? Even this other girl I'm talking about, like, not religious as far as I'm aware, so I don't know what she's doing. I'm like, girly, what are we doing? Actually, the crazy thing is, too, talking about both of these women, like, they very much inspired a certain character in my book. Very, very much. Y'all will read my book if you watch this podcast episode and be like, trust, we know who you're talking about in the book. Trust, we know who you're talking about in this book. Oh my goodness. check what time we're at. Like, I've really been bitching for 48 minutes. Just full on tangent on one topic. Sometimes it's gotta happen. And it's like, I think I'm so fired up about this week is because just like, everything that's coming out in the news right now is so heinous and diabolical. And it obviously needs to be spotlit and it needs to be talked about and seriously deconstructed as a society. But my big fear is when all this stuff is going on, women are going to justify the men in their lives treating them horribly because at least they're not pedophiles. That's the world we live in right now. And I want, if you have a man in your life who treats you like shit, I don't care if he's your boyfriend, your situationship, your uncle, your father, your grandfather. I don't care if he is a man, your brother, your cousin. If he's a man in your life and he treats you like shit and you're a woman, you have every right to have as much distance from that man as you want. And you shouldn't have to put up with him. I don't care. I don't care who you are. And the reason we justify, that's why I want us socially. I need women. I need this conversation to start really becoming foundational to the way that we behave, okay? Women, like ladies, divas, I need us to lock in. And this goes for gay men too, okay? When we are dating men, when we are interacting with men, if we're having relationships with men at all, it doesn't matter what type of relationship it is, we have to adhere to a certain social contract of like, men are not allowed to speak certain ways, men are not allowed to treat women certain ways, anyone certain ways, any minority, any certain way, and we are going to start socially shunning these men who live in such heinous ways. Like, and I have family members who think I'm a radical for that. Go ahead. I'll be a radical. I'll be a radical every day of the week. Because, once again, I'm fighting for your right to suck. Every day, I fight for your right to suck. Know that. If you want to be miserable, go ahead. Go ahead. I want to fight for your right to do that. But, don't be telling me that if you want to have the right to suck and be married to a man that hates you, talking about a whole different woman who's married to a man that hates her, and I know that he hates you, okay? Once again, I've heard for a long time that he hates your stupid ass, and calls you stupid behind your back, too. We're spilling all the tea today, okay? So if you're listening to this one, which, hope you do, like, again, know that I don't have hate in my heart for you. I have deep concern that you're one of the dumbest people I've ever met. Yes, truth. That's the truth. I'm very worried about your lack of bridge of education. I'm very, very concerned. It's actually terrifying to me, quite frankly. But know that that man calls you stupid behind your back consistently. And I want to fight for your right. If you want to stay stupid, you should get to be with that man. But I have every right to not interact with that man. There are so many men in my life who I've cut off. We're talking about, the plot is lost. We're not all talking about the same man, unfortunately, when I've been talking this whole time. I've been talking about a lot of different men who I've gone, never speak to me again. You are a parasite. These men are parasitic. You have to start thinking of them as parasites. And like a tick, you gotta pull it off of your skin. You gotta pull them out of your skin. You gotta take the tweezers, and it's uncomfortable. You gotta dig the head out, and you gotta dispose of the body. Okay? They're ticks. They are parasites. Ladies, they're parasites. And they are draining your life. They are taking advantage of how emotionally intelligent you are, and they're using you as a free therapist. They're using you as free therapy. They're using you for cooking, to eat. The reason that they are fed is because of you. They need you to do the free labor of therapy. They want to abuse you for sex, and it's parasitic and you're getting nothing from it. And if you are finding in any sort of relationship you have with any man that it is parasitic, get rid of that man. Because I promise you, yes, you gotta dig and swim through a lot of fucking trash. But I promise you, there are beautiful men out there. There are men in my life, the men that I do have in my life, wonderful. There's nothing, and that's the thing, because it's such a rarity, that there's something about being around a good man that just hits different. Like, when I'm around my male friends, my brothers, like, you know, when I'm around, like, it's my grandfather's birthday, shout out, when I'm around these good men who have real empathy, like, it is such a beautiful thing to watch a man be empathetic and stand up for what they believe is right. And it is such a good reminder that, like, they do exist. It's just they're unfortunately the minority, but they do exist. And it's it's like just so nice. Like, I love a nerdy man who's educated on politics. Clearly, that's my man's. Like, go find yourself a nerdy man who is interested in politics. You know, politics, obviously, left-leaning politics. That's how you gotta be searching, ladies. Search for the bisexual men. Search for the men who are into left-leaning politics. If they like cool rocks, if they like birds, if they are into science, if they're into anything nerdy, that's the honeypot right there, okay? That's the gold mine. You're all going to be very grateful when you start searching there. And there's going to be some garbage there too. Trust there's some garbage there too. But it's like, as much of a man hater that I am, it's like, for the men who are good and do deserve the praise, I'm going to give it to them, because we got to be able to search for some light in the darkness if we're going to interact with half the population. That's just how, you know? So I'm yipping and yapping. Gosh. Oh my gosh. And I just looked at the time. Well, look at the time. I think that's the end of the podcast, because I actually have to go change and I have to leave for this party, like, right now. And I thought I had way more time. I guess I yapped for way longer than I expected. Thanks for coming to the Yapathon. I hope we all learned something today, quite frankly. We stayed on one topic, and the topic is some men suck, most men suck, but there's some nuggets of gold out there once you sift through the dirt. But in general, let's hold all the men in our lives accountable, since we can't do anything, you know, besides protest and continue spreading the correct information about the pedophilic elites who rule our country. Since we can't do anything about that, and we feel a lot of anger towards that right now, let's take that energy and hold the men in our lives accountable who we think it's okay for them to be shitty, but it's really not, because in comparison, they're not the worst men in the world, but they still shouldn't behave that way. So let's channel that rage into holding all the men in our lives accountable. Thank you very much. I'm Brinly Schreier, and I approve this message.